Okay, I have not documented this journey, but after yesterday, feeling compelled to talk about a couple of things, right? That are talked about in therapy as I'm going through this big transition in my life, and some like recurring themes that I am seeing that I just want to share. I'm realizing, my therapist asked me yesterday, what do you want, Linnea? What is it that you want? What do you like? And I realized that I couldn't answer that. The answer was, I don't know. And I currently have another relationship in my life where that same thing is being challenged to me on the daily. What do you want? And I find it hard to find or to answer what I really want. It was always about what I did for everyone else. And as I traced it back to all the significant relationships in my life from the very first one right out of college, I gave to everybody else. My life revolved around what I did for everybody else. And so it's time for me to reclaim my space, for me to take my life back, right? Also yesterday I was on a mastermind call for my Speakeasy group, and the reoccurring theme for that, as far as the direction I need to go next in life, was what brings me joy. That's also a hard question for me to ask myself. What brings me joy? And I have so many things keeping my mind busy. I use that as a distraction to determine what I really want, right? So then another thing that came up yesterday in my Speakeasy was too many choices paralyze us. So narrow it down to just a couple of things that I can do, or a couple of choices to make, one or two, and not so many, right? Okay. So back to, what would I like in life? What is it that I like? What do I know I love? And since I couldn't decide that when my therapist asked me that, she asked me to narrow it down to what is it that I know I do like? What kind of foods do I like? Focus on what I know brings me joy, right? I like the ocean. I like seafood. I like sunlight. I like stars. I like the sand. I like the summertime. I like skin. I like to read poetry. I like to be vulnerable with friends. I like to laugh. I like joy. I like people. And anyway, start with what I like and what I know I love, and then move in the direction of that. And I loved that exercise. And then, instead of like making myself feel guilty for some choices that I've made, tell myself I made a choice. I made a healthy choice, because my therapist reiterated that when I make a choice for myself, I often second guess it. So I have to say I made a healthy choice for myself. The answer to why I couldn't make this work was because I had to make a healthy choice for myself. I'm being squeezed through the birth canal right now, right? Be gentle with myself in the same way that one is gentle with an animal or a newborn baby, right? She had a baby parakeet that was born prematurely there, and she's feeding it and nourishing it every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? And it's sitting in, she has to keep an eye on it to make sure that it stays alive. So I need to take care of myself that gently. And I love that analogy. And then today, the issue of boundaries came up and up and up again, more and more with my friends. And something interesting, as I'm talking to my mother about therapy last night, telling my mom all these relationships in my past and how I gave. And she says to me, there's nothing wrong with that. So we see where that comes from. So in talking to another friend today who grew up again in a Christian home, she brought up the fact that it is very common that Christians, that women, mothers, have problems with boundaries. We pour into others so much at the sake of ourselves when we're not filling our own cup, that a lot of us don't know what we like, because we're focusing on what we're giving to other people and what we're pouring into them, serving other people and not serving ourselves. And that sure was, again, a resounding yes for me also. So, can you relate to that?